right, so here we are back again, Transwest, picking it up. There he is, Mr. B. Amongst all these bigger beasts, man, these RVs are really big. I can't even imagine how expensive they are or how much they cost to fix, because our little guy here, well, gosh, he feels like a big RV, but when he's next to this guy, that's like big beast and little beast. Well, we're here, we had to get some things fixed on it, and we're waiting on a part. It's a little bit frustrating seeing how we only have really a few thousand miles on it. But apparently it seems like, you know, RVs come in to get serviced. I think those are all going to get serviced. And gosh, fortunately, these guys are great. Everybody's super nice. Transwest Truck and Trailer. We didn't buy our RV here at Transwest because they simply didn't have the Mr. B color at the time. I think actually the last time I was here, they didn't have this kind of specific model, but they were really good. There's a guy, I think his name is Mark Love, and he's one of the sales guys. I think he's still there, super nice. They've been really great. Unfortunately, I'm finding out that RV life is costing a little bit more than I anticipated, but that's okay. That just means I got to work harder, and we got to make sure that we totally utilize it. I came to pick it up. I got it ready to roll, so I got oil change, filter, kind of got everything looked at, but we still had that shower problem, and that the drain, it wasn't draining. So the shower wasn't draining into the gray tank, which is a problem because if your shower doesn't drain, then it stays in the drain area of the shower. And unfortunately that part is right there. It's right in there, and it's got to get replaced, which means they have to send out to get it replaced. They don't have to send this out. They're just getting the part replaced. So long story short, we're taking this out to Rocky Mountains. And we are going to enjoy this Memorial Day weekend. You'll see this a couple of weeks after. It was here for about a week and a half. They did everything they could. They checked it out. It's just how it happens. Now we got to wait on the part. So I'm going to have to bring it back after the part comes in. But hopefully it'll only take about a day. You know, once they have the part in, then they'll schedule an appointment. I'll come in and be able to replace that. So we're gonna rough it a little bit this weekend. We'll use the outside shower, and we'll probably do like one of these kind of like quick baths, but we're not gonna let it stop us from exploring and having adventures. Now I gotta go clean this. It looks kind of clean, but it's really dirty actually. I was looking around, it's pretty dirty. So I'm gonna clean it up before we head out. Talk to you soon. 25 is still a mess. Been a mess since we moved here. A year later, it's like getting even worse. I know they're just making the road bigger, but this is kind of tight quarters and traffic, and I know it's only about a 30-minute drive from our house to the RV dealership to Transwest. This is like the least fun road, but it's the only way. I guess I could have gone a back way. When I plugged in maps, I don't really need to, but sometimes it's good to have, so you know what kind of traffic you have. Anyway, I'm getting beat by a Penske truck right now, and that's okay. That's part of the RV life. It's kind of slowing down, letting things see its course, and it's definitely hard to do, I can tell you that. So getting Mr. B cleaned up for our little trip. I probably should wait until after, but he was dirty. I haven't cleaned him in a little while, so if you're curious how I go about and clean this beast, well, good old-fashioned way. We got the hose, and I got this special little tool that I actually just discovered today. This is a dust mop, but it has the same kind of fabric that you use. I don't know, this is actually to clean the floors, but I'm using it to clean Mr. B. It actually worked good. I don't have to get up on a ladder. But then now I do have to dry it, so I'm gonna get up on the ladder, and when I'm in town, realize I could just use my regular step ladder right there. So no problem, get the step ladder, get up there, dry it up. See, I always say he's looking pretty clean. It's about to get dirty. It's supposed to be rainy, maybe some wind over the weekend. We're gonna be heading to the Rocky Mountains, and yeah. I have taken it to the power wash, but I've actually heard from some of you guys, which by the way, thank you. And I know that's the case with regular cars, just be careful on the paint. Not to use those power sprayers and to go too hard because you can damage the paint, and I definitely don't want to do that. Nicole's in meal prepping, and we're gonna head out on a new adventure tomorrow, and we're excited.
What you doing, Owen? Silly beast.
nice and clean.
Cleaning up Mr. B for our little adventure.
Clean to get dirty.
And then little Owen rolling in the grass. No, not this time. He's overdue though.
So we're pretty loaded up. I got my toolbox. We got stuff for the kitchen, just extra supplies there. We got our leveling blocks. We got our mat. We got our chairs, 2 chairs. We have our ladder. Maybe if it's warm enough, we'll go up on the pop top. That'd be good. Starlink we got. This little vacuum. We have the visors for the front. We got some walking poles in there. Can't forget our trail fire. So we got our trail fire grill, which we know how to use now. We got a ladder back in there. And look at how much room there's still. Look how much more room. We have so much room. We got to go for a couple weeks. You ready to go for a couple weeks? But man, there's like so much room in here. We can hang stuff from here. We're totally underutilizing this. Anyway, this is what we got for now. And we're ready to go. I think we're about packed up. All right, we're off on another adventure. Wait a second, where is she? Don't worry, she's coming with us. She's actually in front. We're taking the Jeep and the RV. We're like overpacking. I totally overpacked. But we're going to Rocky Mountains. We're gonna actually go to Estes Park. And yes, you're saying, don't you guys go there a lot? Yes, but we have not stayed at this campground, so we're going to a new campground. While you watch this, it'll probably be a couple weeks after Memorial Day, but it's gonna be a holiday weekend, so we're getting a spot on Friday. We're staying till Monday, and we're also taking the Jeep, so that way we can have our home base with the RV and have that set up with Mr. B. There's gonna be an interesting twist to this just because we do not have a shower. We're still waiting on that part. So we're taking the adventure, we're going to wing it, and hopefully we don't get too stinky in the process. Sure feels quiet without my partner, but it's only an hour drive, so not that bad. In fact, it's probably good that we have a little separation before we spend the whole weekend together, but good thing we like each other, and it is a special weekend for us. We are celebrating 23 years of being married, and I can tell you it has only gotten better and better and better. And I'm not just saying that for the camera. Truly, for those of you that aren't married out there, maybe you're trying to figure that out, highly encourage you. Find somebody that you really like, not just love and not just attracted to, but you actually really like. Like you enjoy spending time, you have similar interests. Not all the same, but similar interests. And yes, she likes hiking a little bit more than I do, but I love the outdoors, I love nature, and I really love spending time, quality time. I think it's becoming one of my biggest love languages is quality time, specifically with my wife. And 23 years, May 25th, what an amazing weekend. So I'm gonna share some tidbits about our courting, if you will, the time when we started dating, which if you guys didn't know, we actually met in New York City. And I shared that, I believe we did a video, maybe it was last year on our anniversary, talking about how we got married and all that stuff. But if we do, I'll make sure that I drop the link to that video. We've been doing now, I think we're getting close to 100 videos here, vlog style videos of Mark and Nicole, my wife and I, and our adventures. The last time we did it, maybe it was in the mountains somewhere else last year. But anyway, we met in New York City, and man, it was great. It was at a holiday party. We didn't have phones then. I think we had cameras because we have a few pictures from that time where we met the next couple of weeks. And what's crazy is I remember it all so clearly. How we met at a holiday party and we went out dancing, and it was crazy. Mind you, in the late 90s, literally within like a month of knowing Nicole, we took a trip to Paris on a whim. We don't speak French, and all we know is we like Nutella and we like crepes, and mind you, the food aside from that, we weren't even too impressed with. But it was an awesome experience. But then it was really kind of things went in a whirlwind. Our very first date was in Central Park, New York City. I'll never forget, within 24 hours after we met. We happened to live literally 2 blocks away. She was on 78th Street. I was on 80th Street on the east side. We met up at 79th Street with bikes. We both had like mountain bikes, or I guess at that time, maybe it was a road bike. I think it was mountain bikes. We went to the park. We actually shared a bagel. She introduced me to tofu cream cheese, which I can't say I was a fan of because I was a fan of her, but I wasn't really a fan of. I had a great day in the park. I remember sitting on the hill. So I forget the name of the hill where it was at. And we just hit it off. crazy. And then seems like a few months later, it was a little bit longer than that. Next thing you know, I'm buying a ring for her. I proposed to Nicole in Central Park in the botanical gardens. If I can get some footage of that, I don't have it from when we got engaged. I remember getting down on a knee. I remember thinking there was going to be beautiful flowers everywhere, and it was like they were literally tilling everything up, so it was nothing but dirt around us. But the botanical gardens in New York City are beautiful. It didn't matter because that sun was shining. I remember the diamond was sparkling, and all I remember was her saying yes, and that was it. It was what a beautiful day. On that same day, we were headed to Jacksonville, Florida, actually, where we were planning just to look around. We were just kind of scoping out some areas that we'd like to live or maybe move to. She didn't know we were going to be engaged, but on that trip, I remember flying out, and her sister recruited us. We traveled all around. We went to South Carolina, North Carolina, came back to Jacksonville again. Yeah, so that's kind of how it started. It's how it all started with Nicole and I. For those of you that are married, I'd love to hear, drop it down below, how many years you've been married. And gosh, I feel like now at this day and age, 23 years is unheard of. It's kind of crazy, kind of sad, to be honest. I feel a bit proud because, not because I've stayed married, because I'm really happily married. I can actually say, as a married man, I'm a happily married man of 23 years. I don't know what happened along the way for a lot of people, and I think it's sad the kind of way relationships and marriages are just so easily come and go. It's easy to get divorced these days, and nothing knocking it. And I know sometimes people just make mistakes and there's no judgment, but I'll just have to say I'm very grateful that really God blessed me with such an amazing woman. She's behind in the car in the back, following in the Jeep. And what I want to share this weekend too with you, a little bit of our experience as far as in our marriage, and particularly some of our anniversaries. We have some funny ones. I'm thinking of one particularly in the Abacos. I think we're going to share that story with you as well. And this weekend's just about our friendship, our marriage, the love that we have for each other. And honestly, I have to just say too, I know it's something that's not really shared much on YouTube, and maybe it'll get less views, but I owe it all to God. Definitely can say that without God's favor in my life, God's hands over my marriage, God's hands in my walk. And it came to me in about after I was 36 years. Kind of knew there was a God, but really wasn't following, didn't know about a relationship. By no means is any mistake of my parents. They were raising me great, have great parents, and they did a good job disciplining me and raising me right. But until really into my late 30s did I understand this relationship with God through Jesus. And I can tell you, just I'm in the driver's seat now driving, but it is nice to know that I don't have to be in the driver's seat of my life, allowing God to take the wheel, allowing Him to be the source of my direction, if you will. So I always kind of say, I owe it all to Him, very grateful, and I'm never going to not hide behind my faith. I'm never going to not share who I am, because really who I am is who He sees me as, and that's a child of God. And grateful that He made me, but also grateful that I discovered how amazing life can be. I wish I could say it was easier when you have a relationship with God, but it's actually harder because this world can get on you really quick. And I don't know, just kind of felt like sharing that. I know it's not part of this experience that you're going to share, but for those of you maybe you don't understand that yet, feel free. I love if you're not sure, drop comments in there. If you don't agree, that's fine too. If you do, I'd love to hear. It's nothing better than hearing other stories and relationships and marriages that have kind of stood the test of time because of their faith and their pursuit of God. Do you miss me? You miss me? It's been a half an hour.
It's such a long separation.
So pretty right here. All right, so we're online to get in the park. We're here pretty early. We're here before lunch, and there's about 15 cars maybe. Looks like they only have one station open, which I don't understand because it's a holiday weekend, so you would think they'd actually have both running. It looks like there's one just for Rocky transponders. Oh, that makes sense too, I guess, for emergencies and probably the workers and stuff. But in any event, we're here early, and I had a feeling it's going to be busier the later in the day. People get off on Friday, beginning of the weekend. We're going to attempt to camp, get our stuff situated in our spot. We have about 2 hours before we can actually check into the park. Again, checkout's 12 o'clock, check-in is 1. So on Monday, we got to check out by 12. We're going to be staying in the campground for 3 nights. And I'm kind of glad we got here relatively early. Like I said, it'll only be about probably 10 minutes to get through. So word to the wise, if you are going into state parks, Rocky Mountain State Park, get here early. This is going to be our first experience on a holiday weekend coming and staying in the park. So we'll see. It already looks pretty busy in Estes. We stopped there real quick to decide what we wanted to do. And I think smart choice is getting through here now. So here we are, and we're excited. We got to the entrance and we have a timed entry for 1 o'clock. That's when our space opens. And my wife got a 2 o'clock timed entry just in case we were running late and we needed one. So long story short, we couldn't get in. We're a little early, but in hindsight, it doesn't work because you got to go into your timed entry. Today is the very first day of the timed entry. Word to the wise, make sure if you're going to the park and you want to go to Bear Lake, is you go on their site and you look to make sure you get a timed entry. I kind of understand, but it also is kind of a pain in the butt. I think the whole timed entry thing is just a little bit more of a control thing. But outside of that, we're going to go grab a place to eat, somewhere to park. Can't park right here. I just pulled off the side of the road. It says no parking or camping overnight. So we're going to drive and find a place, maybe a little park outside of Estes, and then come back. We only have about an hour and a half. So anyway, we'll try this one more time. All right, so we're back online, and we kind of planned it good because there's a long line now, as we expected, and I guess lesson learned. We should have got an earlier pass to get in, timed entry, but it's 10 to 1 now, long line. We got at least 10 minutes waiting online. So again, just word to the wise, make sure you plan ahead accordingly. Make sure you do get your time pass. Go on the website they have for national parks, and I believe it has access. My wife takes care of all that stuff, but it's okay. We're here not just for a day, so I'm excited, and I knew it was going to be busy, so we're going to make the best of it and enjoy our time and learn how to have patience. All right, so while I'm waiting in line, I think it's going to be probably a good 20 to 30 minutes. I wanted to share a little story about patience, And we had to learn that right when we got married, since we're going to be celebrating 23 years on Sunday, and that's why partly we're making this trip. We planned a trip to Hawaii for our honeymoon, and this is before all the Airbnbs and all that stuff, and we found 2 places. We stayed a week in Kauai and a week in Maui. So Nicole's role was to book the flights. My role was to find the places to stay. So we got on the flight, we got off the flight, and then we got on another flight and off the flight, and then on the flight and off the flight, and I guess a little bit more economical that way, and there's nothing knocking that. It was a long flight. And I was like, all right, maybe it's going to be about the same. It was like, there was like twice as many flights on the way back. So that was the first test of patience that I had as a married man now, not even a week in. Of course, I was going to learn patience really quick because I just got married. No joke, the second day, I think, we were in Kauai. It was our first stop in Kauai. And we had planned some excursions, and one of them was a kayak. There was a kayak tour on the Nepali coast, and it looked so beautiful. And we're like, this is going to be awesome. And at the time, we had kayaked a few times. My dad had kayaks. So we got there, and all we saw were tandem kayaks. And we were like, oh, we got to sit. Not that we don't like each other, but we're like, we thought we were getting our own kayaks. We are so glad. It was a 17-mile kayak in sort of like, not waves, but pretty rough water, which was really interesting. And that tested our patience as well. It was really crazy. I'll never forget when we stopped at lunch. Now, mind you, there's all these other couples that just got married. There was like maybe 6 couples all on the same kind of like group excursion. And we're not big into the group excursions. We like to experience things on our own together, and not with like big groups and stuff. So we stopped at this place for lunch. The company that does the tours brought food, kind of all included. And we get there and this guy is like shaking his hand off to like dry his hand. And he flung his wedding ring. His wedding ring that he had just put on his hand. I'm not even telling you, 24 hours before that. He had gotten married in Hawaii and they were planning this for like their first thing to do before their honeymoon or something like that. And he legit lost his wedding ring. First off, I'm so glad it wasn't me. And then second, he ended up finding the ring like last minute. We looked, everybody was looking. We all felt really bad. We thought that was it. It was the shortest marriage ever. The guy's getting divorced. There's wind coming right now and some rain coming. This is kind of funny. Nice all day. Now there's some wind blowing in. You never know with the weather. Like I said, luckily we are prepared, but here comes a little windstorm. So the day pass is $30. The 7-day pass is $35. And then we got an annual pass and it's $70. And I think because we got it for all of our cars, I'm not sure if that maybe is a more of a fee, but totally worth it. If you're here for a week, $35, it's kind of a no-brainer. I think it's after Labor Day, so it's probably Memorial Day to Labor Day. Don't quote me on it. Go look on the site. My wife knows better. We've been sitting here for about 15 minutes. There's about 20 cars ahead of us. Probably 20 more minutes before we get in. It looks like they have a few of the stations open, which is good. And unfortunately, Trail Ridge Road that goes to Grand Lake is closed currently because of the wind, and I guess a lot of the snow off the mountain blew onto the roads and stuff. So currently it's not open. We were planning to maybe head out there for an afternoon, and it's starting to rain here. So we'll see. Like, we're going to play it by ear, and that's part of the journey, part of the adventure. We just go with it, and that's kind of what gets us excited, is you never know what to expect, especially in Colorado. I think I said it right, Colorado. So you guys, listen, I've been here almost not quite 2 years, and I'm learning how to say Colorado right. God, I just messed up. Colorado. I guess that's how you say it. All right, so we're going to the Bear Lake entry. This is a separate pass you need to get. I know it's kind of crazy. You don't need this in the wintertime. We're probably going to be limiting how much we come here during the summer, especially not on holidays. Well, at least this is a separate entrance to get to Bear Lake because it's kind of limited parking. So we're headed there now. This is where the campground is. We had to pay, which we didn't realize. The park pass is good for one vehicle. So she had to pay $35. We ended up buying a $35. These are all rookie mistakes. We've never really come in here with two vehicles. So we just got the Jeep because we figured once we post up, it'd be a little easier if we want to drive around with the Jeep to go to different hiking spots and stuff, or even to go to town real quick and just kind of leave our RV. But anyway, we're learning this stuff. It's kind of fun. I'm sure my wife's probably lost her patience, but she has tattooed on her wrist, "Be still," and it's something what we both struggle with. So anyway, it's just part of life, right? We're so used to instant everything. So when we don't get things happening the way we expected them, it can be sometimes discouraging. But we're going to make the best. We're getting here soon enough. We'll be at the campground. Can't wait to show you that and to kind of get unpacked, which fortunately here, having this guy, having Mr. B, we don't have to unpack too much. Got a little deer. There you go.